What's going on, people? It's the Bear here once again. So I want to talk about Konami and Capcom. I got to talk to y'all for a minute because y'all are in that category where a lot of developers are giving out half-ass games and charging full prices. And what happens is, you know, uh, when y'all get enough of complaints and stuff like that, then you want to come out with an update, and come out with content later on and stuff. But it takes a whole community, to go and basically tell y'all what's wrong with your games in order for you to fix your games. Let me talk about Konami for a minute, okay? I don't know where y'all going now. I don't know what y'all gonna do in the future or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna happen, but your two Castlevania games was absolute dog shit. It was absolutely horrible. I couldn't play those things for nothing. I played like 5 minutes of each game, and that was it. I was done. The last best thing that y'all had going was Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. But after that, Konami, y'all done. I don't know what y'all gonna do without Kojima, because he was the guy that gave y'all the brilliant ideas to make the older games that y'all came out with. He the one that gave y'all the idea. Now that you ain't got the brains no more, what you gonna do? You can't make anything. Don't even try to make another Metal Gear Solid game. Don't try to even make it without Kojima. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the brains behind the whole operation. And I'm still kind of upset that the guy couldn't get his award at the award show. He couldn't even pick up his award at the award show. I mean, that's just wrong, man. Now I'm done talking about what Capcom. Let's get to you motherfuckers. Okay? Because, how do you not have a Street Fighter without a story? And like I said before, developers now are cutting corners when it comes to what I believe essential parts of a complete game. There are a lot of people that say, well, multiplayer matters more than anything, and a lot of games nowadays should just have multiplayer. I don't believe in that. When I get a game, I want a game with a story before I go into multiplayer, because that's what I do with all the rest of my games. You know what I'm saying? I play story before I get into multiplayer, so I know exactly what I'm getting into. I want to know how the guns feel. I want to know how the fighting and stuff like that. I want to practice. It's basically practicing before you go online. In some cases to get your ass whooped, but at least you got some kind of skill before you go online and just and get messed up. You know what I'm saying? Why? How could you go and play Black Ops? Let's say, for instance, right? Let's say for instance, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. With the whole jumping and all, and new weapons and all the exoskeleton and things like that. I wouldn't know how to play that game if there was no story. You know what I'm saying? Because you put in all of these new features and things like that. Story. Like, what I'm basically saying is story is essential to all games. That's what I think. Think of an RPG. A role playing without a good story. That makes no kind of sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes no kind of sense. You can't have no story without RPG game. That just is crazy. I believe in good stories. I like good stories in games. I always have. But Capcom, I mean, you go cutting corners with the story. You just say, we don't need no story. We're not going to invest in the money in the story that people ain't probably going to play. That's wrong. Because people like to play stories. And what's going to happen, and let me tell y'all something right now. Like I said earlier in this video, what's going to happen is there are people that are going to come and flood your forums And they're going to tell you that it was wrong for y'all not to put a story in there. So what's going to happen later on, and believe me when I tell you this, because it's going to happen. Capcom's going to see all of those complaints that's in the forums. They're going to look at all that stuff. So what's going to happen later on, maybe in about a few weeks or so, is that they're going to have an update in the DLC. And what's going to happen in that DLC is going to be a story. So right now you're getting a half-ass game for $60. And you're going to have to pay Capcom with the DLC for a story. And believe me when I tell you, it's going to happen. Because DLCs nowadays is a major part of gaming. But why do companies charge people $60 and you give them a multiplayer and no story, and then you have them charge them another $15 for a DLC with the story? That is wrong in developers' parts to do that to gamers. You should not be cutting corners like that and then charging extra so you can get another buck in your pocket. It makes no sense. But there are people that are doing that now, including the microtransactions. Which, I'm going to tell you something. It's essential in a lot of games nowadays or whatever, but it's still not right to have them in there. You know what I'm saying? Because reason why it's essential in a lot of, and you know, it's essential today to have the microtransaction is because a lot of times people want to be better, they want to be faster, they want to shoot more, they want to have the best weapons, and they don't want to wait. They don't want to wait. So they want to buy DLC so they can get all of this better stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what basically goes on nowadays with the microtransactions. You know? I mean, other people, so it's like this, right? Here you buying all this DLC, you know, all this stuff, not DLC, but, you know, you're buying all of this stuff with microtransactions. You got the better stuff than the other people who's not interested in the microtransactions. And that's why a lot of multiplayer games nowadays are kind of messed up, because there are a lot of people that have better weapons, better gear in multiplayer, while you just have the average. And it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? But you can't give this stuff away, so they charge you for it. You know? If a weapon is better than the base of the game, if this weapon is better in the store and it's better than the base of, you are going to buy this weapon. If the gear is better, you're going to buy this gear. You want to be the best in multiplayer. But it is still unfair to other gamers who don't believe in microtransactions, you know. But anyway, that's kind of off the subject and all, you know. But, you know, the same goes with games that's, you know, have no story and all multiplayer, you know. It's just, to me, it's better to have a story mode so that you know what you're getting into before you go into multiplayer. I believe in that. I believe that all games should have a story mode. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut corners and just have a multiplayer. Have a story mode too. And Capcom, y'all not having a story mode. It's just basically telling people, hey, we're giving you a half a game, and later on down the line, you know, if we see all the complaints that's going on and everything like that, then we'll throw in a story mode then, you know. But we're still going to charge you $60 for this game. And you basically build up the hype, but I gotta, there's one thing about this that's kind of messed up too, is because a lot of gamers do not go out and do their homework on these games. They just go out there and they hear that this game is coming out that they really like, but they don't look in to see what the game is all about. So when you go home after you bought the game, you go home and you play it, and you find out it's only multiplayer, and you pay $60-something, you messed up because you didn't see what was actually on the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm going to look thoroughly. I'm going to go on all type of sites to figure out what am I getting on this game before I go buy it for $60. And I don't care what kind of game it is. I don't care what kind of game it is. Do your homework before making a purchase. Seriously, you got to do it. Now that people are complaining that there's no story, but you didn't look to see what you was getting in the first place. So that's all I got to basically say. Do your homework before you go buy any kind of game. Because when you go home and you play that game and you find out there's content on there that should have been on there, that's not on there, you're going to be disappointed, and then you're going to return the game, and you want to go to Capcom telling them how y'all a bunch of assholes and stuff like that. So always do your homework. But anyway, yeah, there's been a lot of complaints about Street Fighter V, and I see why. You know, I don't blame y'all for complaining about the game. There should definitely be, if you continue all this time with a story mode, and then on the latest installment of a game, you don't put a story mode, that you know, you're gonna get some backlash for that. You're gonna get some backlash for that because they're always used to a story mode. So Capcom, don't do that again. You know, and I know, you know, y'all probably gonna have another Street Fighter 6, 7, 8, whatever the case may be. But don't do that. Don't always have a story mode in your game. Seriously, don't cut corners like all the rest of these developers out here. All right, y'all. This is the Bear, and I'm out. Peace.